Welcome to the Calcutta Races Season 2021 Christmas meeting, 5th day, Saturday, 26 December, the Boxing Day race preview. The first race of the afternoon we are looking at is the Flying Glance Handicap for horses, maiden Indian horses, 3-year-olds only, which were stationed in Kolkata as of 31st March 2020. The first runner we are looking at is BEMUSE. Number one, BEMUSE has had one run in this season, where BEMUSE was travelling in last spot as they entered the home straight, made some progress and finished on 5th to Coach Jester, who subsequently ran in the Calcutta 2000 Guineas. BEMUSE is by Cavalier out of Habituated. Next, we're looking at number 3, Time Max. Couple of runs for Time Max. First finished on 11th of 14 runners in race number 130. Here in race number 149, over 1200 meters, Time Max was travelling in 10th spot and weakened and finished on 11th. And the winner here was ASOS. Time Max is by Abyside out of Stimulate. Next, we move on to number 4, Around the World. NetWiz out of Celtic Princess. Around the World has had couple of starts. In its first start, it ran 9th of 9 runners behind Namiki over 1400 meters. In his last start, Around the World was placed in a more forward position as they entered the home straight, was in 2nd spot. Then weakened a little bit and finished on 4th of 5th runners. The winner was Silver Bracelet. Next, we have number 5, Golconda Diamond, who ran in Hyderabad and a debut in race number 142 there, where it finished on 7th. In his last start, Golconda Princess was travelling in last spot as they entered the home straight and then finished on 10th. And the winner here was Zoya, who came up on the outside bid and got that race by a long neck. We have number 7, Nandini's Pet, new famous out of Festival Night. A very experienced runner, has already had 5 starts. In his last start in race number 25, Nandini's Pet was leading the pack into the last 100 meters, then weakened as there was a cavalry charge and Nandini's Pet finished on 5th to Mystic Star. Another experienced runner in number 8, SIMRAN'S Pet. In race number 23, SIMRAN'S Pet was travelling in 4th spot as they entered the home straight and then weakened and finished on 6th of 8 runners. The winner here was Ainika. We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Acalia Handicap for horses rated 21 to 46 over 1200 meters. First, we are looking at 2 runners here. Number 1, ICONIA, and number 7, which is REMO. In race number 10, ICONIA was travelling in 3rd spot into the last 200 meters. You can see that on your screen in the blue and white epaulets. And ICONIA then faded, finished 7th of 8 runners. And REMO, who was travelling in 4th spot, stayed on in 4th, and the winner here was Guitar Girl, who won that race very comfortably. Next, we're looking at number 2, Sharavati. Sharavati was racing in 4th spot as they entered the home straight, made some progress and finished on 4th of 9 runners. The winner here was Guitar Girl. And Sharavati had won its previous start in race number 109, beating Advait. Next, we have 2 runners. We are looking at number 4, SIRONA, and number 11, which is Lackmoss. In last run, SIRONA, which was running on debut, was actually racing in the wrong end of the field. But as the cutaway arrived, SIRONA made a move towards the inside and into the last 200 meters absolutely drew away from the field. In contrast, Lackmoss was travelling in 4th spot, did not really accelerate, perhaps needed that run, and going over 1200 again today. Next up, we have 2 runners. We are looking at number 5, TR Queen. In race number 25, TR Queen was travelling last of 13 as they entered the home straight, then made some progress, finished on 8th. And we have number 8, which is Demonstrate. Demonstrate was travelling in 10th spot, weakened further and finished on 11th of 13 runners. The winner here was Mystic Star. Next, we're looking at number 6, Brilliant Gold. Netways out of Brilliance. Has had couple of starts in this season. In its last start, Brilliant Gold was travelling in 5th spot as they entered the home straight. Weakened a little bit towards the inside and finished on 6th of 12 runners. In its first start of the season, it finished on 6th of 14 runners behind Violin. Next, we look at number 9, Spring Valley. Spring Valley is win legend out of Angel's Glory. In his last start, Spring Valley was travelling in 4th spot, made a run down the centre, drifted out a little bit, and then tried to make a race of it, but fell short by about 4 lengths to the winner, which was Ghost. We have 2 runners we are looking at in race number 16, Beowulf, number 10, and number 14, Knight of Thunder. Beowulf is win legend out of Native Princess, and in his last start, Beowulf was travelling in a forwards position as they entered the last 100 meters, then was beaten for speed, and Abelson easily overhauled Beowulf. And Knight of Thunder was travelling in 3rd spot and stayed on in 3rd throughout and finished on about 8 lengths from the winner. Next, we have number 12, Leslie. Leslie is Phoenix Star out of Lunar Quest. In his last start, Leslie was travelling in 3rd spot, and you can see it in the claret jacket with the gold epaulets on the top screen on the right of your picture, on the left of your picture, and then it did not accelerate the way it would like. The winner, Star of Hollywood, made it a start to finish affair and won that race very easily. Leslie had to settle for 3rd spot. Lastly, we look at number 13, Zodiac Prince, Litamore out of Perpetuate. 1 run in race number 84 in the previous season, where Zodiac Prince was travelling in 3rd spot and then did not accelerate, was asked for an effort into the last 100 meters, stayed on and finished on 3rd behind Dornish, who won that race by about 3 lengths from Zodiac Prince. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Army Cup, for horses rated 61 to 86 over a distance of 2000 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Shivalik Side, Summit out of Shisham. In its last start in the Classic in the Sen Ledger, Shivalik Side was travelling in 3rd spot throughout. Into the bend, it made a forward move. Then into the last 200 meters, it got into a ding-dong battle with Jayavant. And towards the last 50 meters, Shivalik Side pulled away from them and won that race very easily. Next, we look at number 2, Inca. Inca in its last start was travelling in 2nd spot as they entered the home straight, and then was being asked by the jockey to make a forward move, but then it wasn't really responding until the last 50 meters, where Inca suddenly accelerated and made a big race out of it, and it was a nip and tuck. It was bob of the head, and Inca lost out by a short head to Arjuna. Next, we have number 3, Rosina, speaking of which out of Roses in Bloom. And Rosina is the winner of the Calcutta Oaks 2020. And in its last start, Rosina was travelling in 3rd spot as they entered the home straight and took the rail run but did not have much acceleration. Jayavant won that race very comfortably. Rosila had to send for 3rd. Number 4 is Rakshaki, Royal Gladiator out of Safekeeping. And Rakshaki had won a race over 2000 meters in race number 139. Since then has had couple of starts. In his first start, finished on 11th of 11 runners behind Silver Bracelet. In his last start, Rakshaki was travelling in 6th spot, made late progress, finished on 4th of 6 runners behind Supreme Legacy. We move on to the 5th race of the afternoon, the Ansbach Handicap, for horses rated 41 to 66 to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. First, we look at a couple of runners here. In race number 32, we have number 1, Big Star, and we have number 5, Kudagra. Kudagra is artisan out of Nijinsky Bullet, and Kudagra was travelling in 11th spot as they entered the home straight, then finished on 9th of 13 runners. And Big Star, who made it a start to finish affair into the last 300 meters, Big Star was given a few reminders and kicked away from the field, won that race by about 3 lengths, beating Whispering Grass. Next up, we have number 2, Kimaya. Kimaya was travelling in 2nd spot as they entered the home straight. In fact, Kimaya was leading the way as they entered the home straight, and into the last 100 meters, it looked like Kimaya would be overhauled very easily by Moskova, but Kimaya dug in and made a race out of it, and it was a ding-dong battle into the last 50 meters. KIMAYA fell short by a nose, and the winner was Moskova. Next we'll have number 3, Simply Soaring. After winning 4 races in a trot, which is quite an achievement by the son of the daughter of air support. In its last start, Simply Soaring was travelling in 8th spot, made a bid in the wide outside, and then finished on 5th of 8 runners. The winner here was Valeria. Next we have 2 runners. We're looking at number 4, Summer Air, and number 6, Excelsior. And Excelsior, What's the Script But of Love of My Life, in its last start was travelling in 2nd spot, then finished on 3rd. And number 4, Summer Air, after winning in race number 145 where it flew home, in its last start, Summer Air was travelling in 5th spot as they entered the home straight. Into the last 200 meters, when asked to accelerate, Summer Air absolutely flew home, dashed the hope of Louboutin, won that race by a short head. We move on to the 6th race of the afternoon, the feature race of the day, the D. Khaitan Memorial Calcutta Gold Cup Grade 2 2020, to be run over a distance of 1600 meters for 3-year-old horses and above. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Psychic Force. In race number 20, Psychic Force was travelling in 4th spot, then came up with a late surge and won that race by about half a length. We also had number 2, SHIVANSH. SHIVANSH was trying to weave through a passage towards the inside, was all dressed up, ready to go, but nowhere to go. And SHIVANSH finished on 3rd with a late surge. We also had number 5, New England, who was produced on the wide outside and finished on 2nd. We also had number 9, Sweet Music, who finished on 3rd after travelling 3rd most of the way, finished on 7th of 8 runners. Next we have number 3, Star Superior. In its last start, Star Superior finished on 9th of 14 runners in the Invitation Cup. The run we are looking at here is in race number 100 over 2000 meters, where Star Superior was travelling in 2nd spot, then got into a ding-dong battle with the champion Adjudicate and came out on top, beating Adjudicate by half a length. We have number 4, Trafalgar Western Aristocrat out of Bluegrass Phenom. In its last start, Trafalgar won the Super Mile. Since then, it has run 7th in Bangalore in race number 6. The run we are looking at over here is race number 86, and where Trafalgar was the winner of the Calcutta Derby, beating Tenno Show. We are looking at number 6, Awesome One. Had a recent start in Calcutta after running in Mysore for a while. In its last start, Awesome One was travelling in 5th spot, then made a passage towards the inside, took charge into the last 200 meters and held on easily, beating Prince Satsuma. Next we have number 7, Arrowfield, and Arrowfield has already notched up 4 wins in a row, has had a recent mock race, and Arrowfield in his last start in race number 127 over 1600 meters was travelling in 6th spot, then was produced into the straight and then drew away from the field, beating New England by almost 2 lengths. Number 8, Here and Now. Here and Now came down from southern India. In his last start, Here and Now was travelling in last spot, was actually a little tardy to begin, then was produced on the wide outside, and Here and Now was accelerating. But the race was almost over as Here and Now warmed up, and Here and Now finished on 4th of 7 runners. The winner was Jayavant. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, the Snow Forest Handicap for horses rated 21 to 46 to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. The first runner we look at, number 1, Mr. Gucci. Mr. Gucci has had quite a few starts in his previous season. In its last start in this season in race number 9, Mr. Gucci was travelling in 5th spot, weakened and finished on 6th of 6 runners. The winner here was Supreme Legacy, who won that race by about a distance. Next we look at 3 runners here, number 2, Viragio, number 6, Zyle, and number 8, which is Daring Heart. Viragio was travelling in 9th spot as they entered the home straight and then finished on 7th. Number 6, which is Zyle. Zyle was travelling in a more forward position in 4th spot as they entered the home straight, but fell through the field, finished 12th of 13 runners. Number 8, Daring Heart, who was travelling in the wrong end of the field, came up with a wide run almost towards the outer stand and finished on 3rd to Mystic Star. Then we have number 3, Rare Bird. Rare Bird has a benefit of a run in race number 25. The run we are looking at is in race number 152 in the previous season, where Rare Bird was traveling in 8th spot, then weaved a passage towards the inside and came up with a late bid and fell short by about length and 3/4. The winner here was Bang Bang, who travelled on the wide outside and won that race very easily. Next we look at 2 runners, number 4 Despacito and number 9 Hootson. And Hootson in his last start was travelling in 12th spot, finished on 12th behind Dornish. However, number 4 Despacito, after coming down from Western India, it was racing in 8th spot, then made late progress and finished on 5th behind Dornish, about 6 lengths from the winner.